Now, one thing that has emerged from this Xabi Alonso decision is that some fans, maybe more prominently media, specifically Richard Keys, who we've now mentioned a couple times on the show, have used this as a reason to question Alonso's courage. So
Crazy.
this is an interesting one. Um, I don't see this as a question of courage.
No.
Like I think in Alonso's statement, I think that he's just being genuine. I think he's just doing what he thinks makes the most sense for him and his development as a manager. And I think in the idea of courage, I think you can make an equally compelling case for either decision as being the courageous decision or the decision that's lacking in courage. So I'm kind of throwing it out. But I will say this about Richard Keys and the comments that he made. I think people, because they like to take shots at him, like he's not afraid to throw out big opinions, and because of
Right.
that, I think people love to chop him down.
Yes.
Um, However, here's the one thing that I will say in his defense: people that I've seen in the media are now going too far the other way to knock him, and they're saying things like he thinks that this is showing a lack of courage. No, 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 it's the opposite. Almost that it would be cowardly for Xabi Alonso to leave and take a job with a big club. And to that,
Right.
I would say, now that is also not true. That is not true. Sometimes, like, it is, it may seem easy to us. Oh, go manage Real Madrid. Yeah, what do you even have to do? Like, whatever. The team manage itself. That is not true. Those high price locker rooms are not for everyone. And as a manager at a certain places in his career, sometimes they know I don't know that I'm ready for that. I know JJ, you've said this about Pochettino when he went to PSG before. So
Mm.
like everyone's killing Richard Keys for for saying this, but I don't think it's asinine to be acting like it doesn't take courage to go and manage a big club. If you're a young manager like Xabi Alonso that doesn't have a huge resume yet, granted, he's going to win this title and it's going to be incredible and people will respect him for it, but he's not some manager that's been around for 30 years who's built up all this equity. And like a lot of these players may not, I don't know what they thought of Xabi Alonso as a player. Does he resonate the same way that like some of these other, like Zidane did when he walked into a Real Madrid locker room? I don't know that he would resonate in that same way. So like going into a locker room like Munich, or Real Madrid's not available now, I'm just using that as an example, or even Liverpool being the guy after Klopp with the hold that Klopp has had over that team for a generation, that also takes courage. So again, I disagree with Richard Keys, but it's the same way I disagree with like guys who are going the other way, suggesting that like, no, 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 the courageous way would be to do this. I throw the argument of courage out altogether. For me, it's just about what suits him at this point in his career.
Right.
And for him, he's just like he said, developmentally, I'm happy where I am. Like you said, JJ, he doesn't need the money. I give him credit because he clearly has a belief in himself that his stock isn't going to drop. So, like, at some point when he does feel developmentally he's ready to take on the challenge of walking into a locker room with those kind of egos, he thinks that this is not going to disappear, that he'll have the opportunity at some point if he wants it. He just isn't ready at this point.
In many ways, he's backing himself for the future. That this isn't just, I got to capitalize on what's happening right now because I'm not sure I can do this again. He believes in what he can do as a manager, and he's
Yeah.
backing himself that these opportunities will be there down the line. He's also a young manager, and he's a family guy. Maybe they're happy where they are.
I'm sure that is a huge part of it. That like my life is pretty great at this club. I believe in what we're doing. I'm happy here. Like I don't feel the need to mess with all that. Like you said, he has money, so there's not like this pull. Some managers might, like you mentioned Graham Potter before. Like there are certainly managers who felt like an opportunity presented itself and they had no choice. And like maybe Ten Hag, that might even be the case with him right now at United, where there are certain guys who just felt the opportunity is now for me to take this move to a big club. I like maybe I'm not ready for it, but I've got to do it because I don't know that I'll have a chance again. And I do want to manage at that level. So I just have to do it. I respect Xabi Alonso for the moment presenting itself to two destinations that kind of make sense, places where he's played, where the Leverkusen fan base would probably understand him leaving. Like the moment is here where he could do that, but other managers maybe made that leap when they weren't ready because they felt like they had no choice. He's not going to do that. He's comfortable in staying at this place and continue to develop for when he does think he's ready. So I have no problem with it. But I disagree with those saying that leaving for a big club would have been a lack of courage.